Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my MLB DraftKings picks for Saturday, June 10th. We've got a pretty small main slate today, only 6 games on today's main slate. There are a bunch of early games on today, so today might be a day you want to get some action on the early slate. I will probably be playing the early slate today, but I'm definitely going to be playing this main slate as well. 6-game slate. There are definitely some different ways that you can attack it. I have a pretty good feeling about how I'm going to be looking at this slate, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so looking at pitcher today, your top option is Chris Sale. He leads the pack with a $12,700 price tag. It is a small slate, only 6 games, so I think you just got to play Sale today. He is the only ace on the slate. Anytime it's a small slate and you really have only one ace, I think you just got to play him, especially for cash games. Sale, he's just been the best pitcher in the majors this year, even over Kershaw. I think Sale is the top guy right now. He's just been so dominant this year, especially with the strikeouts. In his last 4 games, he's put up 10, 6, 9, and 9 strikeouts. He's been so consistent with the Ks. He's also been really consistent just looking at DraftKings scoring. His lowest game of this year was 16 DraftKings points against the White Sox. He gave up 5 runs in that game, still finished with 16 DraftKings points, had 9 strikeouts, got the win. So even if Sale does give up a couple runs, he always gets the strikeouts to make up for it. Sale just has the most upside on the slate by far. He put up 41 against Toronto. Sale has 40-point upside pretty much anytime he steps on the mound, especially with the way he has pitched this year. If you look into the matchup is not great, but it's definitely not one you should be afraid of. If you look at Detroit's K rate versus lefties, they're about middle of the pack when it comes to lefties striking out versus lefties. They strike out 20.6% of the time versus left-handed pitchers, which ranks 16th. And if you look at the average, they're about middle of the pack in there as well. They rank 13th in average versus lefties with a 247 average. And if you look at their WOBA is pretty high versus lefties. Ranks 9th with a 335 or a 334 WOBA, excuse me. So Detroit, they're about a middle of the pack team when it comes to hitting lefties. They do strike out at a decent rate. So I like this spot for Chris Sale. He's going to be pitching at home, where he does pitch a little bit better. He's pitched 6 games at home this year and 6 on the road. And in the 6 games at home, he has averaged 31 DraftKings points, and then on the road, he has only averaged 27. So he does pitch a little bit better at home, and he has already faced this Detroit team once this year. He pitched 7 2/3 innings against them, finished with 29 DraftKings points, only gave up 2 runs, had 10 strikeouts. So he's already seen this one. He's already seen this team once this year, done very well against them, finished with near 30 DK points. He could definitely have another solid game here. I'm expecting at least 25, 30 DK points from Chris Sale. I think he's the top option today. For cash games, lock him in. For tournaments, you might could fade him just because he's going to be so highly owned. But for cash games, he's the #1 option on this slate. Then for SP2, I think this is where it gets kind of tricky. I really like Severino and Alex Wood today, but they are very expensive. I was trying to build lineups with Severino and Wood as my SP2, and I just couldn't do it. I didn't have enough salary, so I'm going to be looking to go a little bit cheaper with my SP2. And I like Josh Tomlin today at just 7,300, getting a matchup against the White Sox. We all know that the White Sox are definitely a team we can pick on when it comes to right-handed pitchers. They really struggle versus righties. They strike out a ton. They strike out 23.7% of the time versus right-handed pitchers, which ranks 6th in the league. That's very high. And if you look at their average, they don't hit righties well at all, only hitting a 239 average and a 295 WOBA. So this team is definitely a team that we can pick on with righties. If you look at their implied run total today, they're not implied to score that many runs, only 3.9 runs. The Indians are huge favorites today, minus 208 favorite. So I'm expecting Josh Tomlin to get a win today, get you those 4 extra DraftKings points. I could see him easily getting 20 DK points, pitching 5 or 6 innings, maybe giving up a couple runs, but getting about 6 or 7 possible strikeouts, finishing with 20 DK points. That's what I'm looking for Josh Tomlin today, and I think he can get that. So I really like Josh Tomlin today as my SP2. Now people are going to look at the splits and see that he did face this team once this year and got absolutely blown up by him. Only pitched 1 2/3 innings, finished with negative 15.7 DraftKings points, gave up 7 runs in 1 2/3 innings against this team earlier this year. I don't think that's going to happen again. I'm expecting a solid game out of Tomlin. He has been pitching pretty well lately. In his last 2 games, he's put up 27 and 16 DK points. Both of those games were against the Royals, which definitely isn't a good team versus righties, and neither are the White Sox. So I like this spot for Josh Tomlin as my SP2 at just 7,300. When you plug in Sale and Tomlin, that leaves you an average of 3,700 remaining per player, which you can definitely work around. There's a couple value plays I like that I'm going to be putting in for my 5 plays today. So looking at my first hitter for today, there's a guy at third base that I really like today, probably one of my favorite plays, and that's Justin Turner. It's just 3,700, getting a matchup against this Asher Wojciechowski guy. If you look at this Wojciechowski guy's splits, he actually struggles against righties, or he does worse against righties than he does lefties, which is surprising since he is a right-handed pitcher. You would think he would do worse against lefties. But lefties this year are only hitting a 222 average versus him and a 263 WOBA, which isn't great. But if you look at righties have been crushing Wojciechowski, hitting a 324 average and a 493 or a 439 WOBA, excuse me. So I love this spot for Turner. He's going to get the righty-righty matchup, and Wojciechowski does struggle against does do worse against righties than lefties, like I just showed you. And Turner actually hits righties a little bit better as well. So I really like Justin Turner today. Friday, he made his first game back from the DL, and he homered right now, as I'm recording this video. I just got a notification that he did homer in his first game off the DL, so he's already started to get hot. Love Justin Turner today at just 3,700. Really cheap option you can target at third base for value. Really like him at that cheap price tag. Shortstop, there's a guy I like here towards the mid-range. That's Didi Gregorius at just 4,400, getting a matchup against Chris Tillman. Love this spot for Gregorius, playing at home in Yankee Stadium. One of the best hitters parked for lefties. So I love Gregorius today. If you look at his BVP, he has pretty solid BVP against Tillman. It's a pretty big sample size as well. In 18 at-bats, Gregorius has had 9 hits against Chris Tillman, and 6 of those hits have been extra base hits. He's batting 500 and 18 at plate appearances against Chris Tillman. So Gregorius has great BVP against Tillman. Gregorius, he's just a solid hitter. He just always gets the job done. If you look at his last 4 games, he's put up 3, 6, 19, and 6 DraftKings points. I really like Didi Gregorius today as a mid-range guy you can target at shortstop, just 4,400. If you look at the BVP, he's done well against Tillman. He's going to be playing at home in Yankee Stadium. Great hitters park for lefties. He's going to get the righty-lefty matchup, the platoon split. So I really like Didi Gregorius at the mid-range at shortstop. And then at outfield, there's a guy that I really like here, a guy that I think is way too cheap. That's Jose Bautista at just 3,400, getting a matchup against Ariel Miranda. I just think Bautista is too cheap today. I know he's been pretty cold lately, so that's probably the reason why his price tag is so cheap. In his last 4 games, he's put up 0, 0, 5, and 0 DraftKings points. So Bautista has definitely been cold lately, but I like him to bounce back today, getting the platoon split against Miranda. Miranda does struggle with righties, and Bautista hits lefties pretty well. So I like Jose Bautista today as a guy that you can target at outfield for just 3,400, very cheap price tag. We know Bautista, he has great power. He's already hit 10 home runs this year. Miranda will give up home runs, so I like Jose Bautista today as an outfield value play that you can target at just 3,400. So yeah, these are my top 5 plays for tonight, guys. I went with Chris Sale, Josh Tomlin, Justin Turner, Didi Gregorius, and Jose Bautista. When you plug these 5 guys in your DraftKings lineup, that leaves you an average of 3,700 remaining per player, which you can definitely work around. If there are a couple of value plays that you like, you can definitely plug those into these 5 and build around that. Or if you guys want to get my lineups, then be sure to follow me on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. My lineups are $5 a day, or you can get a week of lineups for $25. So be sure to message me on Twitter if you are interested in that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. If this is your first time on my channel, please be sure to subscribe. I do upload these videos pretty much every day, so I would appreciate it if you would subscribe. And if you never want to miss out on any videos, if you scroll down where the subscribe button is, there is a bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you click that bell icon, that'll actually notify you every time I upload. So if you never want to miss out on any videos, you can do that as well. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Stroke after stroke, stroke on the smoke. They tell me to quit, don't listen what I'm told. They help me forget that this world is so cold. I don't even know what I'm chasing no more. Tell me what I want, just keep searching on. It's never enough, cup after cup.